Hey guys, Daniel here for Escaping Network. With everything going on in the news right now, we want you to know that we stand with those out there protesting for change. It's only going to happen if we all let our voices be heard and stand together. This is a very important time for all of us. So if you or someone you know needs help with resources or effective ways to cause this change and ways that we can donate and our listeners can help, please reach out to us at escaping.podcast@gmail.com or on our Facebook or Instagram pages. We stand with you and hope that together we can make this a better place. Thank you, and now on to the show.
Joe Coy's getting played out. I'll give you that one. But Jimmy O Yang is funny.
Which one is that? The one that was in Fantasy Island that I see popping? The Asian dude I see popping up a lot lately.
The dude in Silicon Valley. He just had his Amazon special.
Yes.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
He was in Fantasy Island. That makes
Jimmy
sense now.
Yang.
That makes sense now.
Well, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode of Escaping Podcast.
The best podcast in Colorado Springs when it comes to all things geek, nerdy, and everything in between.
And by everything in between, he means those moments where you're wanting to hear our voice and you do hear our voice. I know that when you don't hear our voice, you're just craving it, you dirty little baby. Anyway, as always, I am your host, Daniel Rojas, joined by...
Kills for Show, a.k.a. Booster Code. With a K, of course.
And joining us today, we have...
It's me, Cris.
Oh, right, yeah. The one that
You want my last name?
I don't know. What do you want to say?
The government already got
How
it.
much information do you want to give?
None.
Okay, well, there it is. Thanks for joining us today, Cris.
You already know too much.
Today, we are on part 3 of our time travel series. As you look to the past on our episodes, you know we've talked about film and TV. Today, we're going to one of the mediums that started this show, comics.
Yes.
Kels, tell me a little bit about some history of time travel or future history of time travel in these comics.
So I'm going to start off with Marvel because that's my bread and butter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's my my favorite place to be outside of my own mind. But their basis for time travel all starts with one of the greatest comic book characters of all time. Without this man, time travel in the 616 would not be possible.
Stan Lee.
Because Jack Kirby. Because he created the first time machine, and ever since his creation of it, every time machine after that has incorporated aspects from his original design. And that'll be...
Why do I feel like you're going to go on a Doom rant?
Because, baby...
Doom rant.
Doom is law. Victor Von Doom created the first time machine in Marvel comic books. Something that Reed Richards has not been able to do without Doom's research. So Dr. Doom created a time platform. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what issue. But yes, because even if you play like the old Marvel vs. Capcom games, that chair he floats down on is his time travel machine. Apparatus, device. So yeah, he created it. And he's been on multitude of time travel misadventures, if you will.
Okay.
Most famously being the one with Iron Man when they go back to medieval times. And he starts his relationship with Morgan Le Fay.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with King Arthur lore, she's like the bad bitch witch in that whole series. And now, fast forward now, she's being a major player and shit going on with the X-Men and with Doom's life. And also, if you watch Runaways, played by Elizabeth Hurley, who also played one of Austin Powers' love interests back in the day, if you of my generation, and also was in Bedazzled with Brandon Fraser, that American treasure.
Oh, he's
so
best.
Underappreciated and underrated. Not as an actor, but just a screen presence. And yeah.
Not to veer too far, of course, but Brendan Fraser in damn near anything, including Doom Patrol.
Would you still need to finish?
Yes.
I don't want you to speak about it until you do.
Wow.
I'm saying you can't say I would not like, because then we could get into it and you can understand why I have such energy when it comes to
Not
you.
finished the first season.
Nor Roscoe, and the second season comes out in 2 weeks.
Oh, it gives me plenty of time.
I lied. It comes out this week.
It comes out tomorrow. You don't have enough time.
Yes. Time is of the essence.
Speaking of time, Dr. Doom,
Yes.
Morgan Le Fay,
Yes.
So, what kind of relationship do they have with each other?
Doom basically uses his machismo, if you will,
I won't.
to lure her into trusting him, confiding in him, so he can learn her magics and get access to her abilities and her grimoires, so he could become an even more powerful sorcerer. Because Dr. Doom is not only one of the smartest, if not the smartest character in the Marvel Universe, he is one of the most powerful sorcerers as well. So anything you could do, Doom could do better if he wanted to, because that's Doom.
You know, I've always had the idea of Doom, and this is my hot take, that if Reed Richards had never been his rival, he would have exceeded everything Reed Richards did.
Oh yeah, because nobody would have been in his way to stop him.
Exactly.
His face wouldn't have got fucked up, then he wouldn't have to go learn magic.
But Reed was never like just trying to stop him. It just kind of it's the way the course played out.
I don't know. Sometimes I like Reed, but I guess it's depending on who's writing him.
Yeah, and the story too.
Yeah, and the story, because sometimes Reed is great, and sometimes, to quote Robert Downey Jr., I want to punch him in his perfect jaw.
Yes.
It'd be kind of hard to punch him too. That's why I'm not gonna get into
It's
all
a
that.
whole thing.
Yeah,
We'll
minutia
tackle
punching a man
Fantastic
made
Four
of rubber.
as soon as Marvel gives us a
Hit him
movie.
so his jaw wraps around the neck, choke himself. Motherfucker.
Chris, as far as time travel goes, what's something you brought to the table today?
I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Oh, shit. So, I know what a Ghost Rider is, and I know about the power cosmic, but what is this?
Oh man, it's both. Oh,
Oh,
but-
shit!
so believe it or not, the Cosmic Ghost Rider is a familiar character we all know and should love.
Jack Kirby.
Yeah, him too.
Steve Ditko.
Oh, not the creators, the guy himself,
Oh, Froggy Nelson. Gotcha.
Frank Castle.
Oh, yeah, he's
And
almost
for
good, too.
those that ain't listening, Chris, can you tell them who Frank Castle is also known as?
Traditionally, most of you know him as the Punisher.
Yes.
So, and he is actually, as the Cosmic Ghost Rider, one of the only people that actually has the power of time travel, not just capable or been through time travel.
So how does that even work? How did he become, one, cosmic, or two, a Ghost Rider?
You find out his origin in Thanos number 16.
That was a great run.
It was an amazing run.
I believe that was Donny Cates.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's during the third Secret Wars, shortly after the third Secret Wars. So Punisher is there when Thanos is destroying the world. He's being super successful.
Living his best life.
Yeah, Thanos
Feeling
is doing
himself.
exactly what he planned to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking set his goals and fucking achieved them. But he
Okay.
So
He's
Punisher
feeling himself like he's got his hair in a localized fan that's right next to him, and he's just pushing it all back.
shaking it around.
Just
But he
feeling
doesn't have
great.
hair.
Shut your
You don't know
fucking
that.
mouth, Kelsey.
Maybe he's got invisible hair.
I seen the comic books. He's like,
You don't remember Andre from
Hairless.
the League? He had invisible hair.
yo,
Multiverse,
3
baby.
strands?
Multiverse,
That's
Kelsey.
Homer.
Multiverse.
Fine.
But as Thanos is about to kill, or Punisher's about to die. Frank Castle's about to die. As he's dying, he wishes to be able to be strong enough to kill Thanos. So Mephisto makes him the deal that he gave to any Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Hey man, I got you. And
You just got to do one little thing for me.
One itsy wincy.
just give me some souls. But by the time this all happens and everything's done, Thanos has left the planet. Frank Castle, as the Ghost Rider, is left on Earth alone, cruising around for hundreds of years, getting lost in his own brain. Galactus, old friend of ours, decides he wants to come and try and eat our planet.
Good old Gallon.
Yes.
And Mr. Castle, as the Ghost Rider, is like, hey man, I want to kill Thanos. Let me be your herald.
Galactus is like, killer.
He's like, yeah, man, that guy fucked me up too. And I'll use your help. So then Mr. Castle gets the powers cosmic.
Like you do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a blessing.
And a curse.
No, it's a blessing.
Well, no, but he is cursed.
But that's before the power cosmic.
So it's both.
He's like triple
Yes.
cursed now by then.
Does it cancel itself out after the third one?
No, because crazy trumps all.
The
and he's nutty.
first one canceled the second one canceled the first one, but the third one starts it over again.
Right. Like,
And 180 and 360, learn the difference. So, Galactus and the Cosmic Ghost Rider now find Thanos and attempt to kill him.
How does that go for them?
Oh, they fuck up. Galactus just gets beat the fuck up. He's dead. He's gone.
Damn.
And then Thanos gives the opportunity to Frank Castle, or the Cosmic Ghost Rider, to, hey, you work for me now. You're going to be like my right-hand man. You're going to do all my dirty work.
Which is interesting, too, because you would think Thanos didn't need anybody, because at this point in time, Thanos has killed basically the whole universe except for Silver Surfer Black. He's still out there. He has made the Hulk literally his lapdog. He has Hulk on a chain like a pit bull in the early 90s and shit in a DMX video. Like when I say bark, you bark, and the Hulk's like, Hulk bark for master.
When I move, you move, just like that.
And the Hulk did.
And if I can remember
Because it was
correctly,
ludicrous.
he also had the Hulk eat Captain America and all the other heroes
Yes.
that survived.
Yes.
Eesh.
But then again,
That's like good puppy chow.
exactly, which is
Hulk chow.
fascinating
Hulk chow.
about
9
that.
out of 10 puppy chow, or dog. 9 out of 10 vets will tell you that eating your friends is not only nutritious, but a life-altering kind of course of meal.
True.
Word.
You vouch for this.
Yeah. I don't like the look in your eyes right now, Chris. It's like you're remembering something.
Oh, man. Don't look at me.
So, the Cosmic Ghost Rider has all these crazy powers, and you told us how he got that way. But what makes him a time travel character? I'm not quite seeing that yet.
So once after the Silver Surfer with Mjolnir kills him, he is deemed worthy by Odin himself, Thor's dad, that you were a valiant warrior. You always fought for what was most just on your path.
Word.
Most people would never see this because Punisher is a vigilante.
Yes.
Ghost Rider only hunts souls for the devil himself.
For the literal devil.
Mephisto, yes. The cosmic power, to be a cosmic herald, you have to seek planets for Galactus, a planet destroyer, a planet eater.
Right.
A universal constant.
And there's no way someone like that would get into the good side of the afterlife.
How? You do all these fucking things, but Odin's like, you did all these bad things for the right reason.
Word. And that's the thing, too. Like, he just doesn't die and meet Odin. He goes to Valhalla, where on the just warriors' souls go to rest.
No, he pulls him out of hell.
Really?
Pulls him out of hell.
So he's in Valhalla, and I guess because that's his place outside of time,
he gets pulled into Valhalla because he is in hell.
Right.
Because Mephisto had his soul.
Yeah, and Odin's like, no, you did everything for the right purpose. And he's supposed to live this magnificent life in heaven or in Oasis or whatever
Paradise.
Paradise, whatever you want to call perfection.
Shangri-La.
Right. Shangri-La.
Yeah, whatever you want to call perfection.
Oakland.
He's supposed but he's supposed to have this amazing life. And he doesn't want it. He gets upset. He actually gets into a bar fight in Asgard.
As you do.
And Odin's like, here you go. I'll give you all your armor, all your weapons. I'll give you everything back. Do you think? And he's like, no, I don't want it. And then Odin forces it upon him.
Like, oh, you don't want it? Well, here you go.
So,
take it. Get stuff.
Does he send him back in time? Is that why? Or does he send him forward in time? Is he...
He gives him all this, and this is when Frank decides, like, I'm going to go save my motherfucking family. I'm going to reset my fucking timeline. I'm going to pull a Marvel Flashpoint.
Does it work?
Fuck no.
does.
What is it? Marvel or
Watu.
Ghost Rider kills the Marvel Universe? Is that what
or
it is?
destroys the Marvel
history.
Marvel history, yes.
Yep.
Daniel has that correct.
Oh, you've been reading.
I may be asking the questions, but I've read everything about Cosmic Ghost Rider up to date.
Because he is an absolute fantastic character, even though he's based off of a very open-ended guy.
Yeah,
I
kind of a
guess.
throwaway character.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like Punisher used to be the shit back in the 80s. And then he kind of had a fell.
There's been some good news stuff that I want to say.
yeah.
Rosenbaum, the same guy who did the most recent
X-Men?
X-Men run before Hickman took over, he did an amazing Punisher run.
But I like the fact...
But until recently, Punisher's best run was the 80s run. And he started off, Frank Castle was a Spider-Man enemy. He's supposed to go kill fucking Spider-Man. And all of a sudden, he was like one of the first anti-heroes, if not the first, in Marvel history.
Because low-key, you could consider Batman to be an anti-hero,
You absolutely
depending on
could.
how you slice that. But what were you about to say, Dan? I'm sorry.
So with the Cosmic Ghost Rider going back and trying to rewrite his own history, obviously it doesn't work for him, but how bad is the backfire?
Well,
At what point does the grease fire take over the whole house?
He finally, every time he fixes it, Uatu takes it from him. And he keeps taking it from him. And in the end, Cosmic Ghost Rider actually acknowledges, like, hey, man, I understand why you're doing it. And then he shoots that motherfucker in the head. Wow. And he essentially opens up his timeline. I know because of leaks and whatever and all the delays on what's supposed to be the new Cosmic Ghost Rider run. Certain facts that I will not divulge.
Well, thank you.
But, basically he reopens up his own timeline.
Okay.
And he actually even goes back and raises baby Thanos.
I do remember that. And at one point, Galactus is like, "No, we got to kill this motherfucker," and just blasts him with the power cosmic. Mm-hmm. But
even though
Thanos is like,
he creates the perfect Thanos
I can't die.
that leads to a perfect world.
That was rough because he was trying to be what his dad wanted him to be, and then you realize it's a totalitarian.
Well, once he creates the perfect world, he actually takes baby Thanos back, and then that's when everything fucking happens because there was essentially a perfectly created world.
Because one of the things I love the most about Cosmic Ghost Rider was the mystery about who he really was, because everybody assumed that it was Deadpool just because
the way
of
he
his
talks.
personality, and he just batshit crazy.
He was the new Merc with the mouth.
Yes.
Which is very
great.
like Frank Castle is the most serious motherfucker
Exactly.
you will ever get.
And he was OP as shit too. Like, that makes sense. A OP Deadpool would be going around fucking shit up.
But that moment when he's talking to younger Thanos, and he goes, "Oh, my apologies. I didn't introduce myself. Frank Castle. How the hell are you?"
And you're like, Francis Castiglione?
You this crazy, but then you realize he's been on Earth for 100 years
Yes.
by himself, X, Y, and Z.
He went fucking crazy because he sold his soul to the devil to kill this man that killed him.
Yep.
And this man was gone by the time Mephisto's deal came through.
Exactly.
And then he's just wandering around the earth waiting for his fucking moment. And a broke down, hurt Galactus is like, I need somebody. I want to eat this planet. And he's like,
I'm all out of love.
He's like, you could eat. Oh.
And that's even crazy.
I'm so
like,
lost without you.
That's just him being a goofy ass lunatic ass ghost. That's not even him being Frank Castle, the mercenary, the hitman. Cause I'm just starting imagining him with the paracosmic and just setting up some shit. Just like how with Astonishing X-Men they had a bullet in the planet. I could see him like paracosmic, like I'm gonna shoot this shit, I'm gonna set this off, have you here this position to take out all these adversaries because I know technically wise how to kill anybody just from being a human man. And now I have these abilities.
He never even made it that far. He had the spirit of vengeance before he went that fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he had his right frame of mind, how deadly he really be with that power.
It's so ingrained in him that even when he goes crazy, that muscle memory and that tactical training is kind of at the forefront.
Like, that's what I wanted to see with
the
that
spirit
type
of
of
vengeance is all about retrieving souls.
Well, I mean,
and if you can retrieve the soul of Thanos,
does
ultimate
that guy even have a
destroyer?
soul anymore? We don't know.
I mean, he has the Soul Stone.
So I do look forward to seeing more stories from Cosmic Ghost Rider. He's a great written character, and Donny Cates does a really good job with his
this new story
creatures.
that's supposed to come out is supposed to be absolutely fantastic. And when I read into it, I realized, like, fuck, this isn't even out yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check that out. We'll come back to that as soon as that comes out.
But what I've always found fascinating about certain timelines, especially with that Cosmic Ghost Rider one, because a lot of this shit has been built up with Franklin Richards still being alive at the end with Galactus and old King Thor. But in that one, we know Thor was already killed because, spoiler alert, one of the dopest shit that happens in it, Silver Surfer Black comes off with Mjolnir, and then there's a whole miniseries telling you, or a story arc telling you how he got Mjolnir. So Silver Surfer Black, for some reason, long story, with Mjolnir, fighting Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Kills his ass.
And he ends up getting killed by Thanos by putting his head through the handle of the hammer, which is insane.
Amazing, but also
But
just
dope
brutal.
as fuck at the same time, yes.
Well, and Donny Cates sets up a lot of these things to intermingle, and he's been kind of weaving his way throughout comics at the moment. He might be one of the biggest writers at Marvel today. But
Yeah,
he's
definitely
setting
him.
up his own interconnected universe within the universe of 616.
I would say it's definitely him, Jason Aaron, and Hitman.
Yeah, no, those are the heavy hitters at the moment. Jason Aaron seems to be losing some steam, especially after, and you may have liked it, maybe not, the god-awful show that was War of the Realms. What a joke! What a joke!
I won't say it was a joke in its entirety. Did
you see that art?
If we isolate,
Did you read those stories?
First off, he doesn't draw; he writes. But if we just talking about that miniseries, that event for
still
itself,
saw the words,
okay. But in his totality with the Thor run, we ain't gonna do that.
Yes, his Thor run is great.
I will, yes.
What he's done with
Realms-
the Avengers so far,
okay,
passable.
It's passable.
all right.
It's a good C+.
But War of the Realms was something that was teased for years and years, and
Yes.
I hate it as much as I hate the words Snyder and cut next to each other.
We're not gonna do that right now.
Snyder?
Cut Snyder.
We're not gonna do that right now because we're gonna do a whole nother podcast about that.
It's up there with Jesus and Drake. I don't like it, and I don't need to
We
like
should
it.
keep talking about the Snyder Cut and then never talk about it.
But that's cool. But War of the Realms was like the season.
look of bliss.
It's like the final season of Heroes when they brought it back.
Oh, you're talking about Heroes
Reborn,
Reborn?
almost like.
That's a bad show.
But it wasn't entirely that bad.
Okay.
It was bad, but if he no, I'm gonna give you a better one.
Yeah, go. Yeah,
had
because
to.
it's a bad. Because it's
it
a
was
bad
the
example
Matrix
of bad
Revolution. By itself, it's
Okay,
good,
yeah.
but in the totality of
Okay.
everything else, it's dope because it brings everything
It's
to
season
fruition.
4 of Community. It's not as good as the rest, but it ties everything together in a way.
More or less, yeah. Or I was gonna say like the last.
It
couple
keeps the
seasons of
story
Community.
flowing.
Just because, yeah. I'm saying.
Okay, so
Anywho.
back to time travel. A lot of these characters and a lot of these people seem to love messing with the time stream. Of course, we've talked about Hank McCoy, one of the biggest perpetrators when it comes to rewriting history.
Oh, boy.
Fucking X-Men guys.
Boy.
They do not know how to not touch time. In fact, they're
Boy.
always in bed with time. And time's like, don't tell your wife Jean Grey about this. And
And-
the X-Men as a whole are like, no, she knows and she's recording.
Wait,
And
was it
that-
Jean or Madeline, though?
And the X-Men are just like R. Kelly and time's about 15 years in his life. And it's like, guess what I'm about to do,
Oh, no.
baby? Guess what I'm about to do? Time ain't nothing but a place. And guess what I'm about to do with this time stream?
He's
of mine?
gyrating.
Put it all over your face.
He made the time stream.
Yes, the time stream is yellow in this scenario.
So speaking of the X-Men and speaking of time travel, you got to talk about their most iconic one. In fact, possibly, I think it was the first time the X-Men did this, was Days of Future Past. And in that we have Kitty being sent back to the past. And Kate, yes.
Respect her.
Respect. Being sent back into her younger body right before a senator is assassinated by the Brotherhood of Mutants. And that whole chain of events sets off the apocalypse, that they live in, where they're in concentration camps. They're being hunted. Wolverine's got gray on the side of his head. It's wild.
You got the
He's
Reed
got the
Richards
Reed,
patch.
yeah.
Yeah. But Steven, I want that shit so bad, low-key.
He's got the double rogue.
For real. Hell yeah.
Of course, she thwarts the plans to have the senator assassinated, and their timeline is restored. We saw Days of Future Past in movie form as well. We talked a little bit about that.
Bam.
Hey,
Whoa, don't do that now.
You weren't on that episode,
Don't
but you
do
can
that.
listen to
Don't
it and
do
catch
that.
it on Spotify.
That's easy top 3 X-Men
All of our
films.
old episodes are on Spotify. Check them out today, tomorrow.
Avid listener.
So the X-Men have constantly messed with their time stream to the point where Hank McCoy brings back younger versions of the X-Men to see themselves nowadays, so that way they can be sent back, so that way it'll change their future again, and maybe they won't have the death of Charles Xavier on the hands of Scott Summers. Maybe Scott Summers won't be a terrorist at this point. Maybe they could all live in harmony, and maybe, just maybe, Jean will notice him.
Terrorist or absolute righteous leader?
So
Same difference?
I don't know. I have a Quentin Quire shirt that says Cyclops was right. I've been waiting to bust that one out, but
You lying.
no.
You got one?
Mhm.
Where you get it from?
I'll send you the link.
Nigga, I've been trying to get me a Cyclops.
I mean, what?
I had a Magneto riser. Boy, you
I'm saying. Don't worry. There's a reason I asked your size and shirt.
Girl, don't do it. Please don't do it. Because if I go through, one of us go through it, then we all go through it. Look at you laughing at. You know what? Go ahead.
But when they brought back the younger versions of themselves, how did that go for them?
It did not go well for me as a reader.
Okay, no.
But them as characters, they went through some shit. We find out that Beast has been in love with Jean from Jump Street. Cyclops trying to figure out, how do I not become Osama bin Laden? How do I not become Mussolini in this hole for mutants and shit? So he's going through all that. It's like, damn, I turned into this ultimate asshole and I killed the dude that I view as my father.
Who was also in love with Jean.
Who also was in love with Jean. Then Jean's like, I'm not even in love with me. Then Bobby like, guess what? I don't like none of y'all bitches because Angel, woody whoop whoop. Because guess what? Bobby always has been gay but didn't want to be a mutant and gay. So he's like, I'm gonna just keep fucking bitches so I don't have to deal with that gay shit. So now he's like, you know what? I'm out because Jean read my younger self mind and was like, you really like boys, don't you? Like, shut up. She was like,
Spoiler alert.
We in the future. So it's okay. Then little Iceman go up to big Iceman like, bro, I know. He like, what you mean? I know you.
And then
it's
they
okay.
both just break down and cry ice tears.
Yes, then him and Jean talking about, yo, Angel though. Like, man, Angel though.
Always walking around with no shirt on.
The wings and
Wings
things.
out there. Ooh.
So, but no,
Things.
before I continue, yo, I support all my LBGTQR plus individuals. That new flag with the pink, white, the light blue, and the rainbow, the brown and black. I'm all for that. But when it comes to my favorite superhero of all time, Bobby Drake, that little shit was unnecessary. But I'm fine because I know that it helps other people in that situation, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's just me being a nitpicky fan of the character. And then also, but guess what? Angel don't do shit but get fire wings, then he loses them, and he fucks female Wolverine. Because him and S-23
He's
was...
not wrong.
S-23 and him was fucking.
They were fucking.
They were fucking.
Yeah.
And Beast punk ass, old Beast, let me be precise, because after he's blaming Scott for all this shit, always fucking up, this, that, or third, but now I'm realizing he just did that because he's also salty because he could never get Jean. Like, Scott killed Xavier. You're just taking things in your own hand. You want to be the Phoenix 5, you want to be the Phoenix 1. Well, guess what? Fuck time travel and how fragile that hoe is. I'm going to go back in time and bring that. Like, no, you didn't ask anybody because everybody would have told you no.
Well, and then jumping on the
Beast.
fact that Hank McCoy does not know when to leave well enough alone, he realizes he's not as smart as his modern day counterpart. That he's not as smart as everything that's happening
Young
right now
Beast.
because young Beast is realizing this. So what does he do?
Well, experience, that's sometimes more
Right.
than knowledge.
He tried to time travel, that didn't work out. So guess what he was at? Well, I see some magic shit. I'm
seen
kind of smart.
magic.
If the magic's like science, I can figure it out. Wrong. This nigga get possessed by a whole demon, and they had to fight Demon Beast.
Yep.
After Demon Beast possessed some other S-Man that was trying to help him in the first place.
They also did not remove the curse when they sent them back. They only wiped their mind. So
Oh shit, I didn't even think about
Still
that.
current day Beast is still cursed.
And that's the thing too. Beast
But
is just
just
like that.
repressed memories.
Yeah. The X-Men never do that. Charles does. He never wipes the mind of his students or makes them think a certain thing or suppresses
He's
their memories.
never wiped. He just puts a block in, man.
Oh, he take them shits completely. But that's one of.
He Dumbledores it.
You
He
put
just-
it in the secret folder.
And that's a fascinating.
Sah.
That's a fascinating point too, because people always say like you can't erase memories, but then they always come back with no, memories are always there. You just gotta go in and find
It's the
them.
same
And
thing
that
as
thing-
Doctor Who logic. It's their rules
Well, even-
until it's not their rules,
Yeah.
and then it's their rules again.
Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind. It's basically the same logic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's
You-
all technically brain damage.
Lasers.
Lasers. Because that thing too with the young S-Men, they did go back in time, but also the timeline was fucked up again because in that future, fucking Wolverine and Mystique have a son, and Mystique and Charles have a
Yeah.
son. Then they come back
That
from
was
the future.
Children of the Atom.
Children of Adam. That
special. Yeah.
fucking shit.
When Children of the Atom came out, it was kind of like all fans collectively went, "What?"
You got two time travels in one story and nobody gives a fuck about
no one
the
gives a
Calamity.
fuck.
Guess what? Quentin Cars get the Phoenix Force. Let me see that. And him getting with Oye to have some mixed race kids who eventually probably be Omega level. That shit never happened because the Phoenix Force was like, ew. You think you want me? I don't want you, Quentin.
I know
You're not
you
gonna get
want
this.
me. You know you want to. Whatever how the song goes.
I'm too sexy for this Phoenix
We
Force.
can't sing the whole song. We don't have the rights, and we will not be sued today. Tomorrow, maybe. But
Episode don't come out till next week, fellas. We got some time.
we got 2 days. These episodes come out in 2 days.
And that's
Same
why.
difference. 2 days a week.
And that's why when we heard us talk about the heroes in the previous episode about their time travel and me being an X-Men fan, us just seeing this happen so much within that comic book. Once a TV show starts doing this, like, I seen all the ways it could work, all the ways it could go wrong. Something always come back, and it's almost like that break the glass just in case type trope, depending on if you're dealing with sci-fi. It's like, you know what? We don't know what to do this season. Let's have somebody that we wrong in the time travel season find a new time machine and come back and get revenge.
And talking about time travel people, you've also got different versions of Summers coming back from the past. You've got Nathan Summers. You've got Rachel Summers. You've got future Jean sometimes.
Yes, and that's one of the characters I want to touch upon too. Nathan, Askazi's son, Summers.
Yep.
Word.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was, yo. But yeah, Nathan Summers, aka Cable. I didn't realize the way he got his name until like recently. I was watching a video about him after all these years. I'm like, Cable, that's dumb as fuck. But it's because he's the cord, he's the linchpin, he is the cable that connects the past, the present, and the future together. And when I read it, I was like, oh shit, son, because I just bought some issues of Cable and other older Marvel books when it was in the Onslaught phase 1 and 2, and I was reading that shit. So it was like, yeah, and Cable.
You mean you actually got some Cable editions at Escape Velocity?
Oh yeah.
Because I know someone that buys everything they put in that damn store that's Cable related.
Well, these are the bargain bin ones.
3300.
Wait.
Mr. Joseph Jones.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, that's my friend.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you're on the family friends pass, gang.
Gang.
Yeah, but I got these
Gang,
from the
gang.
bargain bin though. But
Yeah, you gotta go rifling through there, man.
No, he literally went in one time and like spent the whole like Cable. Bought all their old, like there was no Cable comics except current ones because this dude bought them out.
So Cable does what Cable does, as any Summers does, as they do. They come back in time, they fuck with shit, and then they decide, you know what, I'm going to stick around. I'm going to stay, and you know what, it's fine. It's fine.
Is it that he chooses to stay or because he gets, and I know in a couple versions he gets stuck.
He used to get stuck.
yeah, it all depends on the
Before,
storyline.
he didn't have the option to leave before, but now they like give him the option to leave. He's like, nah.
yeah. There was one point where he was even on the Avengers.
Exactly.
And he's just like,
the Uncanny Avengers.
this is fine.
He's like, I like this. This
Yeah.
is a good team. This
Exactly.
is better than my New Mutants and X-Force days.
And all the New Mutants and X-Force people are like, he's probably dead, right? That's why he's not around. He's just probably dead.
He's
And
got a new team.
He's
What
over
the
with the
fuck?
Avengers like, you guys have surround sound?
Word. Your mansion doesn't get blown up every other month. Sweet.
You have a mansion?
But the thing too about Cable, like Chris said, sometimes he's stuck here, sometimes he goes back on his own accord. But once he accomplishes his mission or his objective is no longer present, he stays in the present. Like he comes back to defeat Apocalypse, but if Apocalypse isn't a threat anymore, he doesn't need to go back to that future. And also in his future, when you come to find out, which is connected to another time traveling X-Men that I'm about to talk about in a second, is that future has this evil clone, Strife.
Yes.
Because if you don't know about Cable, he's one of the most powerful mutants there is. He's like Omega level, telepathy and telekinetic. If he didn't have his techno-organic virus that's always trying to take over his body, so he has to use most of his abilities to stop that shit from killing him.
It's like a cancer.
Suppress it.
It's trying to
Exactly.
spread. That's why he's got the metal arm.
That T-2000 type cancer. But in the future, Apocalypse clone Cable or Sinister clone Cable to make somebody strong enough to take out Apocalypse, but Apocalypse shut that shit down like, I'm gonna just raise this boy so he could be my next vessel because he seen that body was strong without the virus. And Strife is OP as fuck.
Well, Strife, his whole body is taken over. That's why he has the whole metal
Yeah.
armor look. It's not
He gave
something,
in.
Yeah, it's something he can't take off. That's like
Oh shit, that makes
His-
absolute sense now.
that's not a suit. That's his fucking body.
Well, and we can't talk about Cable without talking about the Messiah Complex and the story of Hope Summers.
baby.
Because that is a
Baby.
time travel story. They're literally
Baby.
leaping through time to avoid Bishop,
Baby.
another time traveler who's come back because Hope Summers creates the future where he is in a concentration camp.
Exactly, because Lucas Bishop is his government name. He comes from a future where mutants are in concentration camps.
Same
They
future
br-
as Cable.
No. It's two different futures.
Well, the original run, they were from the same future.
No, and then now it's been reconned because Bishop has an M brand on because in that future mutants are branded with the M, so people know they are mutants, and it's so grained into your DNA that even when Jamie Maddox sent a clone to the future to come back, once that clone got reabsorbed, the Maddox Prime had that M on it, so it's like some genetic marking more than a tattoo. But Bishop was originally sent to came back to the past to stop the mutant traitor that will lead to his future because they betrayed the X-Men, and after that shit happened, everything was fucked. But originally Bishop thought it was Gambit. Then we had the trials of Gambit.
Oh my god.
Wasn't the case. And then you come to find out that they thought it was Joseph as well, a clone of Magneto. Then he thought it was Onslaught, which was a combination of Magneto's psyche and Charles's shit. And then, in the middle of a side complex...
This is real if you guys go back and read it.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing, and that's something, that's one of the
a lot
reasons
of
why we
shit.
do this show, is because we hope that our listeners will go back and read this stuff.
That's why one of my boys, Trev, doesn't want to fuck with the X-Men because their storylines are so convoluted. I'm like, I can't argue with it because it is, because telling one time travel story, you gotta have 3 different ones that tie in to some other shit that ties into alternate dimensions. And yes, convoluted time travel stories just go neck and neck with the X-Men fighting for their rights to be represented as equals in human society. But then the last thing that like Bishop did, because he realized that
More like Bishop.
I'm not mad at that because there was a little baby that was born. That was the first mutant born after Wanda said no more mutants. Whole nother podcast on the House of M.
Oh my god, about the real mutant traitor?
And then you find out Cable came back in time to protect this little girl. He takes the girl, goes in the future, but when Bishop pulls out his gun to shoot said little girl, he actually shoots Charles Xavier, blows his brains out. And how Charles came back to life. Another side story that happens in X-Men Legacy.
Let me guess. It was a life model decoy, or a psychic projection, or there was a deal with the devil, or it doesn't matter because another writer just came in and said, "Oh yeah, he's alive."
Actually, Sinister was trying to download his brain in the first place and brought in Exodus to piece his brain back together. Anywho,
And
so
if I remember correctly, when this is all happening, Gambit is with Sinister.
yes, he's back with his daddy. But okay, so Bishop does that. Cable hops into the future with the Hope, which is the baby, and Cable names the baby Hope because it's the hope of the mutant race. Then Bishop was like, no, that's the baby. Because in Bishop's future, when Hope does something that causes the humans to say, fuck all mutants, we're going to kill her. And in Cable's future, she is the birth mother of the Akasi religion / brotherhood that Nathan gets his his middle name from. Also, Rachel Summers, who raised Cable in that future, was part of that teachings. And then Bishop follows them to the future because he's like, if she lives, she could come back and do my whole future. So for me to prevent all these mutants from going through what I went through, I need to kill this baby. And Cable was like, no, I can't let you kill this baby because this baby is the future and my future. So Cable's jumping through time. The baby's opening up, aging up. Bishop is going there too, and then Bishop's basically like, yo, if I go further enough ahead of him, because Cable can't jump back in time, he going to go forward. But Bishop's like, yo, if I go forward enough, I could burn down all these futures, I could destroy these places, so I could whittle them down to a precise time, so I can meet up with him.
He's
and that's
playing time travel chess.
Yes, and it was fucking amazing.
It was one of the best series.
And I hated that Bishop had to do that, but for a story alone, fucking amazing.
The fact that, yes, it did result in the death of Nightcrawler and a whole mess of things that
Don't do
did
that.
Don't
spiral
talk
out.
about Kurt.
Don't do that.
Kurt is my favorite mutant, so yes, I talk about
You
Kurt.
don't bring him up. Not in this
It's one of
house.
those issues of a comic book that I opened, I saw, bashed his hand through his chest, I just closed that shit, I was like...
I don't know if I could ever do this again. Can I ever pick up one of these ever?
It
They
was
just
one of
killed
those
this fake
moments-
ass fictional character on paper.
Well,
That I've been in love with for
Yes.
years. He's my brother.
now, not to say it's the same as this because Kurt's death hit me harder, but in the same way when Sirius Black dies in the Harry Potter books or Hedwig dies and it's just one sentence and then the story just goes on, you're like, wait.
Spoiler alert, never got past the 3rd book.
Well, he's dead.
Wait, did you get past the 3rd movie?
Never watched the movies.
Oh, Lord. I ain't gonna lie. The last two was like, I kind
Oh
of.
no! Well, the last one, 7 part 1, Deathly Hallows part 1, that has a really cool start, and then it kind of drags, and then you got to wait till the second movie, the last movie for Hogwarts to defend itself, and everyone to be like blasting shit off. That's when it gets cool.
That's one thing.
I read the first 3 books because of the
Pizza parties?
The teacher from Carmel. Like she let it, like that was our literature part. We'd popcorn Harry Potter, you know.
I feel that. Yeah, no, that's good.
But yeah, so I only read the first 3 books.
Well, basically in the books, when they kill off those characters, it's a real fast sentence. Like with Sirius, when he dies, he falls through a veil where the dead people live, and it goes, and he fell through the veil. And then this starts happening. Wait.
So it's not like the end of a chapter, and it's just like mid page 3, chapter 6.
And then when Hedwig dies,
Fuck that story.
when Hedwig dies, they say that a killing curse just barely misses Harry and hits Hedwig. And you're like, wait,
Hedwig's the owl, though.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
But that's the death of his innocence, you know?
Not the owl.
That's the death of his innocence, right?
Man, I only read 3 books. You didn't know that?
Damn, no, man. I don't remember dying in the movies.
It's the same
I remember
thing.
the owl's
It's the
name.
same kind of thing with that Nightcrawler dying moment because everything
owls
was
taste like
going
chicken?
full blast at that moment. When Bastion kills Nightcrawler,
I'm just asking because I never. I know how elusive owl meat was. I'm assume no because
as
we
long
ain't
as
eating
it's
them,
not made with coconut, I'll eat it.
or bats.
Hold on, let me try that again. As long as it's not made with coconut, I will eat it.
Woo! I like that. We don't keep that one. We don't keep that one. Baby.
Anyway, so you said you had another time travel character to talk about before I get to the story that I really want to sink my teeth into.
Oh, I went through 3, but I always have one in the chamber. I'm gonna talk about just to hop from the Marvel side of things and go over to DC, just to talk about the boy Barry Allen and his cosmic treadmill. That's one of the most ridiculous apparatuses in comic bookdom, but it serves a purpose. So when Barry Allen needed to travel back in time in DC comic books before they allowed him to tap into the Speed Force and just run, he used to have to get on a treadmill and run his fucking ass off. And if you watch the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, you can see that Jay Garrett, the OG Flash from the comic book played by the 90s version of the Flash, got on said treadmill and did that shit. And he died the way Barry Allen died in the comic book during Crisis on Infinite Earth. When he ran so fast, he ran himself to death, and it was just amazing. So, yeah.
Well, and talking about the Flash, you can't not talk about one of the more recent events, Heroes in Crisis,
Yes.
where you realize that Barry and Bart and Wally and all of them have to constantly keep that Speed Force in check.
That's crazy.
Every day, every second. And the fact that when Wally lets loose for a second because of all the trauma he's had,
Everything goes to fucking shit.
it kills everyone around him. So before we even get to the end of this, the one that I really want to talk about, I don't know if you guys have read it. I'm sure you have, Kelsey. But Age of Ultron. Yeah, that size says everything. It is one of the biggest Marvel time travel stories. Basically, Ultron has been killing everyone.
What's new?
Right? Like, that's Tuesday. But this one is somehow worse than the others because he keeps upgrading. People find out Peter Parker is Peter Parker. There's only a small hub of heroes.
Wait, you mean the end of Homecoming? Or Far From Home?
No.
Not even Civil War in the comic books.
Not
He
even
did that shit too.
No, yeah. They're all in this area and they realize, okay, well, we could either keep fighting or maybe we should go back in time and kill Hank Pym before he creates Ultron.
Oh, not Ant-Man.
Yeah, the Hitler
Yeah.
shit. And before he slapped the shit out of Janet.
Yeah, before he went all domestic abuse.
They tried to do that multiple times with Thanos, too.
Yeah, and it didn't work. But this time, everyone says that's a bad idea. The time stream will be irreparably fucked.
Yes.
Don't do this. But Wolverine and the Invisible Woman decide, you know what? They don't know. We've lost too many people. Time to go and find Doctor Doom's time platform. Head on back. We just snicked, and we're gone. And they do this. And the time line after that is, how bad would you say, Kelsey?
It was pretty shitty. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I remember a lot of it because I chose to forget. Because after T'Challa died, the Black Panther died in a vibranium suit by falling down the stairs. I was like, no. I still bought it all because Marvel always gets my money. But I was like, this shit is butt. This shit is butt.
It wasn't failure in the suit. It was geometry at its best.
He is like a cat.
Geometry.
I seen him survive hella shit. I was
He
like,
hit the right angle and everything.
I was like, wow, I wonder how T'Challa would handle this situation. Oh, he's not.
Well, and like,
He thought he was gonna come back too. That's why he kept like, he ain't dead. And then you're like, he stayed dead the whole fucking time.
well, imagine it like this. Imagine it like Back to the Future 2. They go back, they change something, they go to the future, suddenly Biff's in charge. But it's not Biff, it's an Iron Man. And this Iron Man is like all fucked up and he's like, oh, well, you guys obviously aren't from around here. You're not the same Wolverine. You're the ones who did this. Time to go ahead and
we've
kill
been
you
waiting
guys.
for y'all motherfuckers to pop back up.
And so they go back and they don't kill Hank Pym, but they give him a code. They program it into Ultron so that way when it gets to that point in the future,
it will never hit that point.
yeah, he'll be like, oh, my back. You know what, guys? I know I'm Ultron, but my back right now, I can't. I can't.
0,
Here's some
Y2K.
problems. So many problems I have
Bender
with
melts
this.
down.
Yes. So many problems I have with this. They still had Emma Frost with them, that remnant of people. They could have gone back in time and just wiped Ultron from Hank Pym's mind.
Oh, I thought you liked this shit.
I have a love-hate relationship
Okay,
with
cool.
Age of
All
Ultron.
right, word. Respect.
Because I was so excited when it first came out. And then when they named the movie after it, I was excited to see all these heroes go through it, and then it wasn't.
Like
but-
we all are when Marvel introduces a new event. Like, yes!
Incoming
Well,
or
sometimes
whatever
it's
this new one is, Empire.
Empire,
Empire's going to be bad.
I'm not going to get all of it.
But what are you getting?
X-Men, Thor, and the man.
So the norm.
No. I'm getting X-Men, Thor. That's it. I work at the comic book store now. I'm just gonna read the main title.
I was going to say we could just read it.
So the norm. You're gonna get X-Men and Thor titles.
Normally, I would get Spider-Man 2 and the Avengers shit.
Spider-Man's been falling off, though,
Yeah.
really. Spider-Man has been
I used to
started
be
off
like
to be
a
really
junk.
cool.
I used to get
Now it's
all
bad.
times, but now I'm like,
It's too much.
The fact is, though, like with this event, they changed too many things. They changed way too many things, and then when they get back to the present, it's one of those moments where they fucked with time too many times, and the Marvel Universe says, you know what? There's cracks in the sky now, and all your dimensions are gonna collapse on each other, leading to Secret Wars.
exactly. And also, like we were talking about earlier with old Beast bringing back the young X-Men, that was a part of the issue too, because they was dealing with the ramifications of Age of Ultron and how that completely cracked the timeline. So if he knew what he was doing, he wouldn't try that shit in the first place because it's already fragile. But he just had to show Scott.
And that's that's one of my biggest problems with Beast. I love Beast. I have a statue in my room.
Kelsey Gram's OG for reals.
But the fact that he knew the time stream was already so fragile, the fact that everyone saw the different realities around them, and he goes, you know what? I'm better than you, Scott Summers, so let me go ahead and fuck this raw dog style, and hopefully I don't get a kid.
And he doesn't.
Well, I mean, in this situation, he kind of does. 'Cause
He had a
time
scare.
Yo.
Yeah. So, as much as Age of Ultron is
took the
a
risk he
bad
never should've.
event, there were some cool aspects to it. Like the
Like?
fact that Peter Parker finally breaks down, and it's Peter Parker, but it's not. It was also happening around the same time as Superior Spider-Man, so they didn't really know what they were doing. But just seeing Peter Parker be like, "Hey, it's me," and everyone's like, "You're the annoying person that we have on the team." That makes sense.
But you ever try to kill a spider?
Yes.
Difficult.
I don't anymore. They're part of our ecosystem, and I'm glad to have them.
The more you know.
Oh, you got some secrets.
I
I don't want to talk about them spider people, all right? I got
So before we get to the end here, what are some other time travel stories that really stick out to you guys, as far as comics go?
Well, if you want to go on the Japanese side of stuff.
Yeah, man.
The Cell arc, Future Trunks. That's always a classic.
You made me purr.
You know, big fan of Cable. Deadpool's done a little time travel with
That's
his
true.
buddy Cable.
It's sometimes buddy, sometimes
no matter
enemy.
what.
Or like in
Sometimes enemy.
the Messiah War, they found Deadpool in that future because he locked himself in the fucking basement, and since his healing factor won't let him die,
Yeah.
he just waited there until they popped up. It's like,
Until his
I'm here.
friend, like, hey Cable, hey Nate, what's up? Booster Gold's a funny one.
Yes.
Oh, we haven't even touched on Booster Gold. But Booster Gold is a notable one. The fact that he read about the heroes and then came back.
Well, he took all the, like their tech and stuff and like, go back and they had like, look at me. And, I mean, he did save the day, but he wouldn't have been a hero without all the stuff he took from the future.
No, and because he wasn't a hero in his time, he was kind of a letdown.
He was a loser.
Yeah.
He was a Great Lake Avenger.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great way to put it. He was not a good person, but when he came back, he realized he could rewrite his own history. Even
It just, as we're talking about it, I just realized that they have not even put this motherfucker on Legends of Tomorrow. The time travel character in DC is not on the show, but I think there's a
whole thing where CW
rights.
is not allowed to because WB is saying we have plans for it.
But they have.
I don't know if that's true anymore because we are apparently getting a Superman show and we might get a Batman show.
No, it's Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
That's coming.
That's coming.
factual.
But we also might get a Batman show in the future from what some people are saying.
But that's how DC keep
Live
fucking
action or
themselves.
animated?
No, that's all live
Live
action.
action.
But that's how DC keep fucking yourself up. Like, yo, even if you had plans for Booster Gold, that shit been talked about for the last 4 or 5 years. You could have introduced him on one of your premiere shows that have him pop up. If you're gonna have him pop up,
Booster Gold would be a fun time travel character.
Yes. Well, they're not allowed to use Booster Gold, but the other person they're also not allowed to use for the same reasons is Blue Beetle.
Even though they mention him so much amongst all the series
Yes,
they've done over
not
yes,
even mention he was on the show.
He was, what was it?
It was Smallville,
yeah.
but they.
But for this
And
new
then he was
one,
in the animated stuff,
they're
but
talking.
he's never been in a
The
live
rumor
action.
is that we're going to get a Blue and Gold movie.
Is it going to be Ted Kord or is it going to be Jaime Reyes?
It'd have to be Ted if it's Blue and Gold.
Well, yeah, but
Because their friendship.
But
But
with the way they do stuff nowadays,
Yeah,
They
it
don't
might
have
be
to. Yes,
it
I
might
was
be
about to
different.
say
What are we gonna
like.
get?
No, they're gonna go racially diverse. It's gonna be Booster Gold and Jaime.
you think so?
He's
they're
gonna be
gonna-
Jaime, the young Mexican kid with the older
Well, they
nigga
could-
from the future, and they learn from each other.
Well, I guess they could reference like, here's my time with Ted, even
Exactly.
though he's with Jaime, but even though Ted's is strictly technology based.
Or Ted could be that guy in the chair.
And
And that's how he
has
learns.
the,
alien,
Yeah.
It's all-
symbiote.
Ted learns how to
it's-
take his tech from the tech, and he be the guy in the chair.
Well, what?
Ooh. I do love a retired hero being the guy in the chair.
Or like I
I
always
like that a
wanted
lot.
to be one, but now I see this, I'm like, now I can. Just like Garrett and Static Shock, how he had a level up, they can flip it like that. if they
Oh,
want to.
shit. Give us a Static Shock movie, by the way.
That'd be better
or
as a show. Better as a show.
Yeah, you know,
I
yeah.
take both.
But, okay.
Black Lightning spin off Static Shock. Give me the Static Shock.
What about you, Kels?
They got a crossover movie.
Europe. One thing we
that's his
didn't touch
nephew,
about.
right?
No. They just happen to be black.
No, I'm
No.
We've talked about this
No,
before.
Static
haven't we?
Shock's from Dakota and Static. Static Shock's from Dakota. Black Lightning's from like Detroit
Yes.
or someplace, depending on.
You could be
how you
from
write
different
it.
places and still like.
Oh, but they're not though. They ain't.
I got
Yeah,
aunts and
they're
uncles
still
in
not
Arizona.
related.
Yeah.
But one thing character we didn't talk about, and Chris made me think about that shit too, was fucking Dr. Manhattan. Because technically, he does not time travel, but he can if he chooses to. Because he lives all time once. And if you haven't watched the Watchmen series, then that shit's not gonna make sense to you. Like, it's different for me reading about that, being able to do that. But once the Watchmen series came out, then I saw it happen. I was like, okay, yes, this is exactly how it would. By living in the present, the past, and the future, you don't differentiate each one because it's all the same one to you. So when we having the conversation now, I'm like, yo, we already did this, but right now we're doing this.
Yes.
And it's just like,
Well, technically, he's in every moment in time. He just kind of chooses where he wants to jump in and like
exactly.
manipulate it.
Well, and that was always a fun thing reading the comic when that came out. Because I know we talked about it with the movie that was technically a form of time travel. But in the comic, when you're reading it, you kind of have to get a general idea of where you are in his timeline.
Yeah,
Because-
you have to know if like how far he is, or if he's
Yes.
actually jumping back to a moment to do this. Because like it's almost not even time. Like he lives in every moment in time.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know if you could call it time travel.
he is like it's quantum
Mechanics.
quantum physics, quantum powers,
Yes.
and like he's almost beyond time travel.
And with that notion being said, if he's always at the same moment at the same time, then would you even consider Katie Pryde coming back into her own mind if she's only able to do that because she's living in the past, present, and future at the same time? Because
I
Dr.
don't know.
Manhattan, but the difference between that, I guess, because Dr. Manhattan could go back previously to his birth. Because then he say he saw the dinosaurs and all that shit happen too.
He's
but he
seen
can't
all
go
the
past.
time.
Yeah,
He's
but he
seen-
can't go past his death though. But he could go anything prior to, like he go pre his birth, but he can't go post his death.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Which
no,
is
that makes
interesting.
sense. That makes sense.
But then again, I guess if you can't go past your being. Like if you're not here anymore.
Well, that's the only reason, because
That's
he can't
just
go
weird.
past his death.
No, but you're right.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's time travel, but it's not time travel.
Yeah. Interesting. It's time travel adjacent.
So
It's rollerblading instead of roller skating.
You're on wheels, man.
Like I'm here, but I ain't. I'm blue,
so
and my life matters.
before we wrap it up today, guys, what are some comics that you would recommend folks travel if they're interested in time travel? Where can the people find you, and anything you'd like to plug other than that?
A lot of the stuff we talk about, you catch any of the cable issues, they're almost always going to be time-based. I mean, Flash is always, time-based.
True that.
There's always, with how fast he goes, there's always going to be some element of time travel.
Yeah.
Because Flashpoint kind of did that really well.
But, for me, I don't know. I like the alternate timelines, I guess. Everything happens. But, you go to the old X-Men Age of Apocalypse. That whole run, all the different comics they had in that series is fantastic. I'd look that up. If you want to find me, Cris Colborn on Facebook. No H, like Kelsey keeps saying. COLBORN. That's all I'm on. Unless you come see me in real life. Ripped Apparel. Love you guys.
Okay, Kels, same question to you.
Oh,
What's a
okay.
time travel story that you would recommend to our listeners? Where can the people find you? And anything else you'd like to plug?
Well, most of it doesn't deal with the time travel, but it's the catalyst to the time travel. So I would recommend first the Messiah Complex full story, and then the Cable story, which I talked about earlier, where Bishop is chasing him through time. You don't have to read Messiah Complex, but it just gives you more to the story and the overall gravitas of the situation. And as always, you can find me Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Kels for Show, Kelsey DeAndre Greer, the whole spiel. And whatever you want to when you think about me. The brain is forever. And if I had to recommend something, it has nothing to do with comic books or anything else, but I just have to bring up this little underrated gem because people don't give him respect on certain shit that he does, and that's gonna be none other than Jake Gyllenhaal's Prince of Persia movie, because that movie was okay. It was good.
It wasn't bad.
Yes, he's
But
not
it was
Persian.
it was all white people.
But still, though, he looked brown enough. They was dirty in that sand. He had a tan.
Brown enough.
Outside of the whitewashing, I'm not okay with that. But it happened. Outside of that, I enjoyed that movie. It got a bum rap. It was definitely better than John Carter, Ghost of Mars. But John Carter wasn't that bad either.
It was pretty bad.
I didn't read the book, so I don't care.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
books are for
I'm getting a lot of
nerds.
nods around the room. Looks like a couple of
It was
people
decent.
were saying it was a bad movie.
It wasn't
Yeah, bad
decent.
movie.
I don't
Just
think
get-
I've ever made it past 5 minutes.
Hey, just
and that
get-
was trying.
Whoa.
That was trying.
You can't let a couple bad apples ruin the whole thing.
God.
You can't do that.
That's gonna lead me to a segment I have here in a second.
Just
but-
because
Assassin's Creed.
Just
Here we go.
because the movie kills a lot of shit doesn't make all the movies bad movies, you know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say.
And that is our hot take corner with Kelsey.
Hot take from Hot Cakes. Cakes with a K, by the way.
For me, it's gonna be Chrononauts. If you guys haven't read Chrononauts, it's one of the best fucking stories you'll ever read. It's by Image Comics. I want to say it's Mark Miller and
Or Mark Millar.
Mark Millar, and it's about these guys who get time travel. They've been working with a big company, kind of like a NASA type, organization. And as soon as one guy goes back in time, he doesn't come back because why would he? He has time travel. I also really enjoy the alternate timelines. And if you want to stick with one of the big two, you should read Marvel's Exiles, the original run. It's fantastic. It's so underrated. Not enough people have read it, and it is one of their best.
It's like Sliders meets Misfits.
Yes, it's so good. You know how I like the alternate timeline stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
just awesome.
we
Me too.
we are always living in alternate timelines. So if you want alternate timeline stuff and you want to stick with Marvel, read Exiles. If you don't want to stick with Marvel and you want alternate timelines, read Black Science. Just ended this last year. So good, I cried. So
He's dying.
I have like a little burp that's not getting out.
Another good one, Kingdom Come, because Spectre's taking old boy through all that shit.
That's actually that's a really good one.
That was part of my sister's college curriculum.
It's amazing, and it should be even if just for the art of Alex Ross.
Well, it was like part of like the whole psychology part of it
Okay.
was actual part of one of her courses.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Daniel Rojas, Instagram, Blue Morpho, one word, where the O's are zeros. You can find us online at Facebook and Instagram under Escaping Podcast. And if you or anyone you know has any music you'd like us to use on the show, please send it to us at escaping.podcast@gmail.com. Before we go, it's still crazy out there, folks. They're lynching people again. So stay safe. Let your voice be heard and know that we stand with you because shit is getting crazy. Before we leave today, we're going to leave you with a song by Native Station called Breckenridge. And, check out that band. They're local. They're amazing. Always support your local music artists and artists in general.
And your podcasters, too.
Local everything. And loco everything.
Ooh.
I'm saying. Thanks for listening, everyone. We love you and we do this for you. Remember, there can only be one chum bucket.
And just remember, guys, if you need to get away from the situation, being an escapee never has a time limit. Stay uncanny, guys.
Girl, you're super fly. Let me try you on for size. You're my favorite high. Sugar with a little spice. Can I have a taste? All of this to say that I want you. Baby, I want you. Under crazy skies, we forgot the stars. I think I broke my neck trying to watch them fall. But nothing gives me chills like your fingers, I confess. I'm the worst with pride, I don't even call. Been a while, I lost count some months ago. I love the magic nights, but I always disappear. Girl, you're super fly. Let me try you on for size. You're my favorite high. Sugar with a little spice. Can I have a taste? All of this to say that I want you. Baby, I want you. I got tons of love. Baby, you can have all mine. When I stay the night, hope I leave you satisfied. This is no mistake, all of this to say that I want you. Baby, I want you. Like a firework, I just watch you glow. I'm a pleasant guest, but you're a better host. You feel like morphine, so please be careful with the dose. Lost in Breckenridge, I'm that fox with doubts. I don't settle in, you're unsettled now. I hate things when left, just know I've been trying to make them right. Girl, you're super fly. Let me try you on for size. You're my favorite high. Sugar with a little spice. Can I have a taste? All of this to say that I want you. Baby, I want you.